give you a quick peek under here. So it really was just those 4 bolts or those 6 bolts I showed you, and that whole assembly just came right down. Pretty easy, actually. It's actually not that heavy. I suppose you could lay under there and do it, but it's a lot easier to just get a floor jack, put it under that motor mount, and you know, when you pull the bolt out of the motor mount there, just let the jack take it down. It's pretty well balanced too on the back there. You know, I could kind of just hold the front with my arms, or one of my arms, while I undid these last, and then just let the jack sort of ease the whole assembly down. And now that it's down there, you know, you can shift it around wherever you want, and you know, you're gonna have to slide it back that way a little bit to give room for the motor, I would say. So that was pretty slick, actually. I think I'll probably need 2 people to get it back up. You know, you'll pump it up with this jack and sort of guide it, and then you'll need somebody on each end to sort of get the nuts started. So that'll be a little tricky, but I don't think that'll be too bad. So I did forget to drain the oil, so I'm draining that now. I think I'm going to try to break this crank bolt free before I get the engine all loosey-goosey, because I think it's going to take some doing. Probably have to put a chain wrench on that. My impact, I tried it with my impact, it's just not, it doesn't have the nut for that. So AC condenser is loose now. I just got to figure out how to jam it over there as far as possible. And then I think I might need to pull the alternator, drop it out the bottom, to give the AC compressor a little more room when I drop this engine, because I don't know as though there's enough room to squeak it up against the radiator there without this alternator hitting it. But that's just 2 bolts. That should come right out. I already disconnected it. And you can see I just took the valve covers off. Those are pretty sticky. Had to do quite a bit of prying. And then I'm going to cover this up with towels just to keep crud out of there for now. But those are off. Definitely would have been tough to do with the chains on there, so glad I took them off now. So yeah, I think I'm getting pretty close to hoist time. Doesn't look like there's too much more I can do. So yeah. Alright, so I just want to show you something real quick here. I ended up taking out the power steering pump, which was 3 bolts, which, you know, once you get all this crap off that I already had off, it's pretty easy to get that out. Unplugged it and just yanked it out of there, because I was really worried about that power steering pump taking out these brake lines if the motor gets swinging around on me. So it's got to come off anyways. The power steering pump does, because it's bolted to the timing cover. 2 bolts are in the edge of the timing cover. So took it out. The compressor is kind of hanging here with the strap now. You know, I gotta make sure I don't take it out, lowering it down, but I think I'm good. Alternator, also yanked that out. So I think I got some space to come down. Now that looks like a lot, so that's good. And then I just did a quick check all the way around the perimeter. Looks like everything's got clearance and it's disconnected, and took all the wires and stuff and bunched them up here. Covered up the valve train. Keep crap out of there. And then one of the big things I wanted to do before I got too far was take the crank bolt off. Just show you how I did it. It's pretty nice when you got nothing here. So hook up the chain wrench and make sure you jam a piece of belt. I'm replacing the belt, so I just snipped off a piece, put it in there so these teeth don't dig into the grooves of the crank pulley, and then I could brace my foot against the chain wrench and break it free. I'd say it's pretty damn tight. You're gonna need a pretty ballsy impact wrench to get that off, but with this setup, I was able to get it pretty good. I had to lay down and really tug on it, but brace my foot into that. But so that's off. So feeling pretty good about lowering this maybe tomorrow, if I can get somebody to give me a hand. But I'll get the hoist in here tonight. Because the hoist needs to slide onto here, I might need to drag this K-frame out of here. So we'll see. I'm gonna try to get that in here tonight. See what I need to do, but not a big deal. This isn't too bad. I can just sort of drag it out of the way. All right. Some more various pieces of info I forgot to mention. So yeah, this pulley is pressed on. So you need a 3-jaw puller. It's actually set up so you don't pull on the flanges of the pulley. They have these slots, and you need this very specific shape of hook to hook behind that slot. And I've kind of cobbed a socket in there to make sure I don't dig up the crankshaft threads. But it wasn't pressed on too hard, but you definitely need a puller. Do not try to pry this off against that timing cover. That timing cover is paper thin aluminum. You gotta be real careful with that timing cover. Even just getting the timing cover off, you've got to be really careful because it's glued on and you can crack it trying to pry it off. So just stuff to be aware of. But I'm gonna pull this pulley off now before I drop the engine. All right, guess what? I can get off my timing cover now. Look at that. All kinds of room. Miles. This is awesome. And I actually have more room to shift this over if I want to. Basically, I just centered a chain on those 2 hooks. And very, very carefully, I had a jack underneath the motor down here. It's gone now, but just to get a feel for, not let it run away on me. And, slowly let the jack down a little, then let the chains down a little. You got to take off tranny mount and motor mount. So I backed those off slowly, lifted it up and down a few times to make sure that things were fairly balanced. And pretty quickly realized that the tranny was pretty heavy and it wanted to kind of sag this way. So just for added insurance, I added a ratchet strap. It's kind of just, I wasn't too worried about denting that pan. It's pretty flat. Just kind of hooked around the bottom there. And that seemed to balance it pretty good. And then just slowly inched it down little by little till I realized that I could pull the jack and it was nice and, hanging nice from those chains. And really, I think I just need to, it wasn't going to fit between the legs of my hoist, but I just set it on this 2x4 and it seems to be pretty stable. A little bit of wiggle to it, but look at all this room. It's awesome. I can still shift it over another 3 inches or so. I don't even need to drop it anymore, I don't think. And yeah, that's a lot of work just to get this stupid cover off. But yeah, most of these bolts I should be able to get through the wheel well. And I guess there's a few jacking points where you thread into this cover and slowly, I think there's 5 jack screw holes that you can jack the cover off slowly but not have to pry, because it is, I mean, that thing is paper thin. So pretty excited. I guess tomorrow I get to get into the good stuff. Just wanted to get this out of the way tonight, make sure it could be done, and looks like it can be. So we'll get into the timing chain tomorrow, and I haven't actually ordered any parts yet because I wasn't sure how this was going to turn out, but I'm feeling pretty good about it now. So we'll play with it tomorrow. All right, so Sunday morning. Got this off pretty easy. I would say take your time with this. So there's 6 jack screw points. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you just loosen all these. You take the motor mount off, and then loosen all these bolts, and then use 6 of them in those holes, and slowly work your way around, and you'll see the seam line opening up. But you got to go, just like one turn at a time, and inch your way around, and slowly jack the cover off of the glue. Just be real careful, because I've seen videos where they crack right here. So it went pretty good. I would say spray some lube in those threaded holes first, because they're all crusty and they tended to want to gall on me. Some of them really, the screws fought me the whole way, but they did the job. And so we got that off. Have to clean that up, and there's no gasket. It's just silicone or whatever that's been applied all the way around, so I have to be real careful when we put the new stuff on. But got in here and grab my flashlight. Could instantly see some, I don't know if you can see that, some droplets of water in the oil pan, which is not good. I don't see that. So definitely could tell the pump was starting to leak. I know I might have mentioned that I saw my reservoir gone down a 1/4 of an inch or so. So I did expect that. I don't think I did catastrophic damage yet, but sure enough, get access to this pump and you can see, I don't know if you can see that. There's a ton of play. I don't know if it's going to show up in the video, but you see that? That's not supposed to happen. You can just feel it. That bearing is so sloppy. It's pretty bad. So, and the good thing is, I guess, that means this was all worth it, possibly. It had to be done. So, really hope that wasn't enough slop to throw the timing off, but it's bad. I can't believe anyone would design an engine like this. And the worst part is, I'll try to buy the best pump possible, best pump money can buy, I guess. Do some research, figure out what the best brand is, but that should probably only be good for another 100,000. At that point, I think the car will be done. But stupid Ford. So I think that's going to be it for a while, because I know what I need now for parts, and I got to get the timing or alignment tools. There's some fixtures, I guess, that go on here to hold your timing. So I got to look into what I need for that, and probably do a new chain and new guides, and maybe even tensioners. I don't know, but it'll be a while. She's not going anywhere.